Live from Nash Vegas, the Prince of Puts, the Colonel of Calls, the Sultan of Swings, the Wizard of Webinars. His parents knew the future and put an extra R in his name. Jeremy Newsom.
I love April. What a good month. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for taking us up on the intro challenge. Still looking for some more submissions, but Dean Chance, aka the Chancellor, thanks so much for that submission, man. That was a lovely intro. I appreciate it. Incredible stuff. Let's talk about the markets today. This is going to be a pretty quick stock review. I say quick in air quotes because, I'm never really fast. Here's the SPY, and we still got 2 hours before market closes. So anything actually at this point is entirely plausible. But my expectations is if the SPY does in fact or can close above 234.62, then yeah, I'd be a little bit more bullish than bearish. I don't think it's going to happen today though. I don't think we close above 234.62. If we close below 232.79, I'll be a little bit more bearish. But realistically, if we don't close above 234.62 in the next 2 to 3 days, I think we're going to do something like this on the SPY until the 100 simple comes up. And feel free to take a screenshot of that. I think that's probably what we do, more than likely, if we don't move bullish very soon. So that's just kind of my thoughts on the SPY. At this point in time, most traders are going to be benefiting from credit spreads on the SPY. So be watching for that. Bull put spreads, put sales. So Dean has a put sale expiring this Friday. Dave has one expiring this Friday, and we got one for May. The other indices just doing their thing. Here's the Qs. Grant Benson, new real life trader, got triggered in to some 131.50 weekly options at a 70 cents with this price trigger yesterday, based purely off of this morning star reversal right here and the fact that it was a one white soldier candle just 2 days ago on Monday. So Grant, congratulations for snagging in 2 R's on that one, man. Well done. Proud of you, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. The IWM, not doing a whole heck of a lot. So the IWM, again, it's safe to say there's a chance that we've bounced off of this price before on this 133.85. There's a possibility that we've done that 1 or 2 times in the very recent past on the IWM. So anyway, Mark is in a credit spread. Some traders are in some calls, just some shorter term calls, buying the bounce off of that support. Looks really pretty. It's playing out pretty nice. I dig it. A lot of other traders dig it. That's pretty much all I've got on the IWM, just kind of more bullish than neutral. And then the Dow with the financials getting dragged down a little bit. The DIA, a little bit of a bearish candle today. Again, I don't have a position at all on the DIA, but if we close below 203.62, I'm just expecting it to trade down to the 100, and then from there, maybe we bounce, maybe we don't. But the DIA pulling back after this monumentally monstrous bullish move from November into March. So that's pretty much what I got on the Dow Jones ETF. Let's go look at some specific stocks. We did have one requested on AMD. Boop, there you go. There's some proof that I'm just not talking to myself. And Advanced Micro Devices. Here's what's interesting. On a weekly time frame, this stock has moved very, very far. We have gone from $2 to $12. I mean, that's about a 600 or 700% return in the course of a year. That's a lot of money for a lot of traders who bought into this trade. So there's going to be a lot of distribution on AMD here. And what I mean by that is we're going to be trading sideways for a while. We'll probably do something like this, more than likely on AMD. So if you're looking at buying AMD, I get it. Just make sure you're buying low, selling high. Make sure you buy on the low end of that distribution rather than on the high end. So here's your daily chart, and the low end of the distribution would be around the 100 simple moving average. You might notice that there's a chance we bounced off of it before on AMD. So with earnings coming up right around the corner, look for AMD to pull back down to that 100 simple moving average. And if you're looking at playing it, look to be bullish. Here's Advanced Auto Parts. Advanced Auto Parts. Here's the weekly chart. And wonder why we're bouncing on Advanced Auto Parts? Well, we had a lot of bearish candles in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I used both hands to do that. Traded 9 bearish candles in a row in a weekly. And then we traded to the 200 simple moving average on a weekly chart. So I don't personally have a position on Advanced Auto Parts, but I do have a few traders who are looking at getting in, and one of my good buddies, Mr. Anand is also in some shares. So in this particular situation, you're trading to a good support level, right? This is the buy low, sell high location on Advanced Auto Parts. So if you were thinking in your head, I wonder if I should buy some shares of Advanced Auto Parts. If you thought that, then this would probably be the location you'd be looking to do just that. If we add an L to Advanced Auto Parts, we get Apple. And here's my drawing on Apple about 5 days ago, what I was expecting, hashtag Mr. Squiggles, for Apple to do. And this green line is me showing what I want the 50 exponential to do on Apple. And you'll notice so far, that's exactly what's happening. So as of right now, we got a stair step pattern on Apple. So if it breaks down a little bit lower, I don't expect the bottom to fall on Apple, but I do expect it to probably and some might slowly make its way into the 50 exponential. So feel free to keep an eye out on that. Here's Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some analysis of how I day traded Tesla today. But first, I want to show you me talking about this just yesterday during Tech Giant Tuesday. Right now, if I'm playing Tesla bullish, so that you guys know, it's either long term or short term. By short term, I mean a day trade. For example, see this little candle today on Tesla? Very easy for me to trade. Boom, boom. If we pop above that tomorrow, let's hop in. If we pop down, let's hop in. It's pretty much it. Especially if it can gap tomorrow morning. So here's your hourly chart. Very small candle on Tesla today. Very, very tiny. So if by some miracle Tesla gaps down tomorrow below 297, that'll be the easiest thing I bought puts on in a while. And of course, if we gap up right above this high, above 301, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it does, I'm at least going to try it. And worst case scenario, lose an R, and that happens about 50% of the time. Awesome. So that was my clip from just yesterday. That's our swing trading class from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of my swing traders, they also day trade and or set up swing trades. And so that was kind of my analysis. So let me show you how I played this one. And again, on a daily chart, let me just zoom back out. On a daily chart, you'll notice there's a white candle gapping up. So what type of gap is that? Retest gap, exactly. So I was looking to play it on a retest. So I came in on the 5-minute chart. I had the extended hours turned on, and here's pretty much what it was. So pre-market, you had this kind of shape, right? You had a resistance right here. So I wanted to buy at open, but the bid-ask spread was terrible on those options. It broke out. So what I do when it was breaking out, I said to myself, all right, buy the, you got it, buy the retest. So there's the retest, there's the pullback. Went with the options expiring this week, the 302.50 calls, and that was that. Sold them right there for 2 Rs. Now, I did lose on a trade, so that was my one winner, and then I lost on a trade later in the day on Baidu with a little bit of slippage, and I'll show you that Baidu trade here right now. Oops. Oh gosh, so many numbers. Before I show you Baidu, actually, Matt DeLong had a 280 put sale expiring next Friday. He sold that for $3 and some change, and he bought that back for 50 cents and some change. So Matt, high five, man. Congrats on beginning to master your put sale strategy, and great job making money on Tesla. So here's Baidu, right? I'll show you the winners and the losers. So Baidu, white candle gapping up, was also a retest gap. This thing ran to the hills, and it did end up retesting. And I played the opposite direction of the retest. So as it was trading lower, I was expecting this to happen and then that. That's what I wanted, of course, and we can kind of see what it did, right? It did this and it did that. So I like the rotation that it did. It just popped bullish and stopped me out. So no big deal. So lost on Baidu, won on Tesla at 0.88 R on the day with a total of the month right now at 5.96 R. So April, halfway there, halfway to my target. I'm liking it. That's what we got on Baidu. And 2 others really quick. Here's Netflix, NFLX. And you'll remember just yesterday, for those who are in bearish right now on Netflix, congrats. I talked about on the gap up when it occurred on Monday. In pre-market Tuesday, it was gapping. I said, hey guys, if we close below Monday's low. In fact, let's get the recording. Hugely bullish gap and candle today. So if we gap down, bottom line is, in order for me to go even think about going bearish on Netflix, we're going to have to close below the low of today's candle. Exactly, right? So if we close below the low of Monday's candle, I want to be a little bit more bearish than bullish. So if you are setting up for it to be bearish, it makes sense, right? Because it was a very, very strong bullish gap and go on Monday, and that gap should not have filled so quickly. So since it did, I'm expecting at this point for Netflix to potentially and politely trade its way down to the 100 simple moving average. And last but not least, on today, hooray! Chipotle hit my 2017 target. So this was the first stock to hit the 2017 target that I had on any stock, really. So all the stocks, the vast majority of them have not traded in my target yet. Some of them probably won't, but I think most of them will. So here's the CMG analysis, ticker symbol CMG. And way back when, right here, so the 10th of January is kind of when I was starting to expect and post a lot of my 2017 targets on stocks. And this was down at $4.17 a share after this bullish gap and go. So yeah, granted, it took its time and it definitely rotated and traded sideways. But if you did mention it, I talked about that was a little bit of a longer term setup. Either way, went from about $400 a share to about $480 a share. Not too bad. So for those investors who snagged a little bit of a gain on Chipotle, congrats. From here, what's it going to do? I don't know, actually. Probably at some point consolidate and break out of this resistance, and I think she's gone. We'll see. But that's all the requests that I got, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for sending them my way. You guys absolutely rock. I'll be back Friday for more. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. You guys rock. Bye.